Okay, so we are now on the second part of the layout widgets. Okay, and in this video we are going to discuss the multi-child layout widget. So as you can see, the difference between the first part is single child layout. So therefore here, these widgets that we are going to discuss could contain one or more widgets. Okay, so there are actually a lot of widgets or multi-layout or multi-child layout widgets, but as of this time in this video we're just going to concentrate on the column and the row. Okay, so first is we are going to discuss on the column. Okay, so it is a layout, a list of child widgets in a vertical direction. Okay, so we have here, okay, this was for our previous, this result was from our previous video. So here we're going to continue with the column. Okay, so I'm going to have here the column widget. Okay, so column widget, so as you can see here, instead of child, it indicates on the property here we have children, meaning it could contain a lot of or more than one widget. Okay, and as you can see also here, the widgets to be contained in the column should be enclosed or in the square braces. Okay, so and if ever that we are going to meet, you could meet a square bracket, that means it is an array. And when you say an array, it is always one or more elements. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have my first element or my first widget. Okay, we're just still going to use our image. Okay, image.asset, then still assets slash images slash we have the bike.jpg. Okay, then we're going to give a width, let us say 100, and a height 100, and the feet, box feet depth, I'm just going to use the cover. Okay, save, reload. Okay, so you could see here now my image. So we're just going to have maybe 150. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to copy that image, then appended it to the children of the column. Okay, so once I'm going to save this one, then reload. So there are now two images. Okay, actually we could still add another one, save and reload. Okay, so as you could see here, there are now three widgets and all of these are contained within a column. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the first image, second, and third. Okay, and these three images are actually children of the column. Okay, so what are the properties of the column? Okay, so we have here the main axis alignment. So what is the main axis alignment? So we have here the definition: creates a vertical array of children. So it is a vertical array of children. Then okay, later on we're going to have the cross. Okay, so vertical array of the children here. So it is the main axis for the column is we have the vertical. Okay, and since we are talking here for the alignment, so what would be the possible alignment for the main axis? Take note, main axis for the vertical. Okay, so we're going to have here main axis alignment that center. Okay, we're going to try first the center value. Okay, then reload. Okay, so as you could see here, the three elements or the three images are now centered on the vertical axis. Why? Because main axis alignment is we have the vertical one. Okay, so it's centered all of them. So what are the other values? So we have also space around. Okay, space around means place the free space evenly between children. Okay, so we have small space there and a small space here, and space around means it is going to distribute those spaces within the three, or in our case, we have the three images. Okay, save, then reload. So as you can see here, we have now there are now space around. So those spaces are now distributed among the elements or the widgets. Okay, so we have another one that space evenly. Okay, so even, so therefore it is going to be this, the spaces should be equal. So save, then reload. Okay, so as you can see here, the spaces are now equal. Okay, so we have also here the cross-axis alignment. Okay, if in a column, the main axis we have the vertical, this one here, the vertical axis. Okay, so the cross should be the horizontal axis. Okay, so for example, I'm going to have the center here. Okay, save. So what are we going to expect here is that these three images will be centered also horizontally. Okay, so we're going to try. Reload. Okay, it has been reloaded, but as you can see, they are not centered because what we are expecting here is they are supposedly to be centered horizontally. Okay, but let us say I'm just going to add a text here. Text, then my bikes. Save, then reload. Okay, so as you can see here, my bikes. Okay, and my bikes has been actually centered among or within the column. Okay, so therefore the cross-axis alignment has already taken effect now, but then it only centered these widgets within this column. Okay, so what are we going to do so that we could get, or all of these will be centered horizontally? Okay, so what are we going to do here is we are going to create or make a widget that is going to occupy the whole width of the screen. Okay, because the column is just going to adjust, okay, to the maximum width of the children. Okay, and as you can see here, the children, we have a width of 150 pixels. So therefore, our column here is only up to this point only. Okay, and my bikes, this text has been centered within 150 pixels. Okay, so what are we going to do so that it will be centered on the screen? So we are going to create a widget, or going to make a widget, or we are going to include here a widget that is going to occupy the full width of the screen. And as we have discussed before, so we could have here a sized box. Okay, and I'm going to have the width of the sized box double that infinity. Infinity means, okay, the maximum possible value. Okay, so in this case, the maximum possible value for the width is the width of the screen. Okay, so that's the sized box. Okay, so and what will column do? It is going to automatically adjust its width on the maximum possible width value. Okay, so in that way, all of these will then be centered horizontally. So I'm going to have save, then reload. So as you can see, they are now centered. Why? Because of the size box here. The width now of the column is equal to the width of the screen because of the double that infinity value here. Okay, so the cross, and so this is the vertical, and we have here also our horizontal. Okay, so you could use also those expanded and align and so on. Okay, but now I'm just going to concentrate on the column. Okay, so I'm just going to remove my the text. Okay, because we are now going to have the row. Okay, lay out a list of child widgets in a horizontal direction. Okay. Okay, so what are we going to do now is I'm going to change the column into row. Okay, then save and reload. Oops. Okay, if ever we could see this, by the way, meaning overflow. So what are we going to do here is we're just going to no, because of the size box. Okay, so I'm just going to remove first my size box. Okay, then reload, save and reload. So we could see here still the width is, let's say, 100. Okay, 300. So I hope it is going to fit within the screen. So we have there now our 3 images in a row. Okay, so cover, and by the way, still spaced evenly. So the main axis alignment is we have here the horizontal one. Okay, then spaced evenly. Okay. Okay, so we have here again the cross-axis alignment is supposedly the vertical axis. Okay, so we have here center, but as you can see here, it's still on the top. Okay, so just like what we did on the column, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a size box. And I'm going to modify the height to double that infinity. Okay, so what I'm doing here now is I'm adding here actually another widget. It's the size box with the height of the screen. Okay, the height of the screen. Why? It is because I want to center them vertically. Okay, so we are in a row, so therefore the cross axis would be the vertical one. Okay, so that's now the role of the size box here. Okay, then reload. So as you can see, it is now centered vertically. So that's how are we going to use the main and the cross axis alignment. Okay. I'm just going to add, because as you could see a while ago, we have save. Then I'm going to add more images. Okay, so I have here, okay, I'm going to have a comma here, save. So how many images do we have? I think we have 5. Then reload. So as you can see here, we have an overflow. Okay, so if ever you have an overflow, means those images or those widgets does not fit on the current size of the screen. Okay, so what are we going to do here is that we are going to change, instead that we are going to have the column. Okay, so I'm just going to try if I'm going to have here a list view. Okay, and they don't have, list view doesn't have an alignment. Okay, so I'm just going to save here, then reload. Oops, wait, I think there's an error. Okay, so the error here actually is render object was given an infinite size during layout. Okay, so I think the culprit here is we have the size box. Why? It is because the height of the size box is infinity. Okay, and list view is actually scrollable. It is a scrollable widget. The children of the list view would be scrollable, so therefore it is impossible to have an infinite scrollable interface. Okay, so we are going to remove the size box. Okay, try to remove, save, then reload. Okay, so you could see here now or the bytes that we have. Okay, so I could now scroll through the different widgets. Okay, so actually even if you are going to have here let us say a text, my bikes. Okay, then reload. So as you can see here, it is now included in our array of widgets, and it is also now scrollable. Okay, so for the meantime, if ever you are going to get the error, the overflow error, just use a list view. Although we are going to have a separate video for the detailed discussion of the list view, but as of now, we are just going to use the list view if ever we are going to meet an overflow. Okay, so although the concentration that we have here on our discussion is only for the row and the column. Okay, so on the next video, we are going to see the layout widgets in action. Okay, so as of now, we are going to limit ourselves again with the row and column, and we are going to have more of these on the coming videos.